Hi, Shane here. You're watching Sam for God, and this is Mark. Check her out.
So hi guys, how are you doing? Today is Sunday, the 26th of March 2017. It's also Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And I am currently outside the Piccadilly Theatre, just over there, because today is actually the final day of Jersey Boys here in London. Now Jersey Boys has been in London for quite a long time. It's swapped theatres, I think, twice. It used to be at the Prince Edward Theatre up until about 3 years ago, and yeah, it's been on a journey. It's a really good show. I first saw it in 2010 it was, because my dad's a big fan of it, the music anyway, so he recommended it and I went with him and I loved it. I didn't think I would, I absolutely loved it, and I've seen it probably about, I don't know, between 8 and 10 times I'd say. Yeah, I've seen it quite a few times for a show that's not necessarily one of my favourites, but it is an incredible show and I'm really sad to see it go. Theatre at the Piccadilly Theatre right now, as you can see, the final performance today is what it says there. Let me just zoom on it. It's kind of like surreal because ever since I became a big theatre fan in London, Jersey Boys has always been in the West End, so it's going to be weird to not have it in the West End anymore. Like, I don't know, it's one of those shows that I've always kind of felt like it's always going to be in the West End, almost like Les Mis and Phantom. I don't know why. But yeah, I thought I'd bring you along the journey as always and we can experience it together and it's going to be a good day. We just come inside and there's already like loads of ex-cast members that I've spotted around. It's kind of a special day I think with all the ex-people here, all the people who kind of made the show special. We are in our seats now, we're in row P of the stalls and this is our view, which is really nice actually. There's a really nice leg room here as well, which I'm very appreciative of, and so is my dad. It is the interval guys, and so far it's been absolutely amazing. I just had to leave the theatre for a bit because it's so crowded in there. I forgot how small in a weird way Piccadilly Theatre is. It's not a theatre that I come to often to be honest, but there you go, that's the sign up there. Yeah, the atmosphere so far is incredible. Like, you can definitely tell that it's a last performance because people are screaming, they're cheering. To be honest, there's a bit too much screaming for me at times because sometimes like people, as soon as the song starts, people start screaming and you can't hear some of the vocals, but to be fair, it's okay. Like, it's a bit annoying, but it's okay at the same time because it just makes you happy, and obviously people are doing it because they're loving life, and that's cool. Yeah, loving it. It's the first time seeing this particular Frankie Valli as well, who I'll talk about later when I get home after the show, but he's really good, great voice, and yeah, I can't wait to see if they do anything at the end of the performance. I'm sure they'll do something. They'll probably acknowledge it, hopefully, in some way. Like I said earlier, I spotted some of the ex-cast members. My hair is just like a mess. Some of the ex-cast members of Jersey Boys around. Like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, quite a few of them were here, basically. So I'm sure, hopefully, they'll be doing something at the end, which will be really nice. Guys, I've already kind of sold out of some of the merchandise that they sell because I just went to get myself a program and a brochure. I mean, I've already got some programs at home, but they're from the previous cast, so I thought why not have the final cast of London here as well. But anyway, we wanted a magnet for our fridge and they said they've sold out. They've sold out the key rings as well apparently, which is good because it's a sold out performance today as well I think, so no wonder, although you can go, it's fine. Lovely lady walking past with her ice cream. But yeah, I'm not surprised because the final performance, obviously they're not going to be restocking, but the lovely usher did say that he's going to go throughout the second act and like have a look everywhere in the theatre, and if he can find anything here, it's worth kind of going back to him and see if they've got any left. But it's not like I really want the magnet anyway. I do have these anyway, which is exciting, which I'm going to go through later. Hi, how are you? You alright? All these people that I kind of met through Jersey Boys are here in the theatre. It's amazing. That's Christina, that just said hi over here. I hadn't seen her in about maybe 5 years. Maybe I should go and say hi to her. Anyway guys, we're back in our seats and it's time for Act 2.
Forgive this interruption in what's a spectacular evening. I'll be quick. I'm not cut out for what I'm about to do, so you'll cut me some slack and I'll be off in a moment. I'm Michael David. I'm a proud but older producer of Jersey Boys. As many of you know, in March of 2008, Broadway's Jersey Boys opened in London's West End. You felt like that, but our enthusiasm is seriously tempered by one obvious question. Would anyone care? Would anyone come? This evening, I think I've got this right. This evening is the 3,787th performance of Jersey Boys. And it is our last. Exactly. Perfect. I take a breath. 3 very quick valedictory declarations, acknowledgements. 1, a perpetual shout out to the one and only Four Seasons, who lived and survived some version of this tale they tell 8 times a week. Secondly, and if something heartfelt can be more heartfelt if I say sincere in front of it, our sincere, heartfelt thanks to hundreds of your countrymen and women on stage, backstage, sorry. And off stage. Many of you are here this evening who have made this entire journey possible, and while doing it have created a remarkable and loving London Jersey Boys family in the process. And most especially to you and to all of yours who have taken the boys from Jersey to heart and have also given us Yankees, a welcome beyond our wildest dreams for the last 9 years. It has been a rare and wonderful wild ride. And so on behalf of my producing partner, where is Ed? Ed Strong. And the entire Jersey Boys family, our profound, infinite, raucous thanks for taking the ride with us, not only taking the ride with us, but making it possible for us to have this ride at all. We are profoundly grateful to you.
We love you, baby!
wow, it was incredible. The atmosphere was, I think, what made this performance so special. Like, everybody was up for it. They were loving it on stage. It was just so good. And the last bit as well, when they did like kind of the last few songs, everyone's up on their feet, dancing. Obviously, that kind of happens every time, but tonight it was even more crazy, and you could just tell that they were loving it as well. Everyone in this auditorium was loving life, and that kind of made it really nice. Like, we all kind of bonded with our love for Jersey Boys, and that was really nice to see. Anyway, this is it. This is goodbye to the Jersey Boys set at the Piccadilly Theatre in London. It's been here for 9 years, is what the producer said. The producer, as you saw as well before, in the clip before, he went on stage at the very end. They had like a nice speech about the whole thing, which was really nice to see. But yeah, 9 years. I didn't realise it had been that long, since 2008 basically. Kind of a shame that it didn't make it to its 10th anniversary, but I guess new shows have to come. I'm not actually even sure what's coming here, like why it's closing, because it's doing well. Like, as far as I'm aware, the show's been doing well. But who knows? Maybe it's time for a new thing. It went out with a bang anyway. Well, this is it, guys. This has been live to the Piccadilly Theatre with Jersey Boys in it, home of Jersey Boys for the past, I believe, maybe 3 years, I think, because Jersey Boys used to be at the Prince Edward Theatre, wear bits of merch and stuff. It's just really cute. I love the whole kind of bonding experience that you get with all the people, and I'll see you in a bit. Anyway guys, I am home now, as you can probably tell, and I just want to say a few words about this final performance. It was amazing, it really was. I think, as I said before throughout this vlog, the atmosphere was what made the kind of bit annoying at times, but then I was like, why am I finding it annoying? Like, people are clearly loving it. And with the, you know, with a show like Jersey Boys, it doesn't really affect the performance as much as it does, for instance, with Wicked, because we all love the shit songs. And there was a guy sat next to me actually on my right, shout out to him, because he was singing along loudly to most of the songs. And again, normally I'd find things like that annoying, but because it was the last performance and it just had a very different vibe to it all, I just let the guy sing and I didn't even mind. Like, people were just loving life, and it was a really good atmosphere, so that was great. I do want to very quickly talk about the cast, because as I said before, it was my first time seeing the Frankie Valli that I saw today. His name is Matt Corner, and he was very good. I saw this cast a couple of months ago in January, and his understudy, or his like what's his name, alternate, was on. I think it was Dale Hodge, and he was really good as well, but I'd not seen Matt Corner until today, and he was great. I think there's something about his just like face, and I don't know, just the way he looks. He's very much like, it's hard to explain, but he very much reminds me of what Frankie Valli actually was like. I don't know. And my dad said that he thought that his singing was very similar to Frankie Valli's. I know like a lot of the people who play Frankie Valli obviously have incredible voices and stuff and great falsettos, but you know, Matt Corner I think is probably the most Frankie Valli sounding like Frankie I've seen in Jersey Boys. Although I never got to see Ryan Molloy when he was in the show. I saw the performance when he was in it, but I never saw him, so maybe he had a better sounding voice to what Frankie is, if you know what I mean. They all sound amazing, but Matt Corner's voice was very, like, it was almost like you were genuinely listening to Frankie Valli, if that makes sense. So I love that. Simon Bailey as Tommy DeVito, my second time seeing him, he was really good as well. He's just great. He's got the comic timing right, and kind of everything else right as well. The aggressiveness at times, the being kind of a bit of a douche, I guess. He's great. And Bob Gaudio was played by Declan Egan. Second time seeing him, very good as well. Yeah, he's great, good voice, everything. And then Nick Massey was played by Matt Hunt. Second time seeing him as well, saw him in January. Again, very good. I'll show you some pictures actually, because I think that will make it a bit more interesting for you guys to see. So this is Bobby. My first time owning one of these brochures, because I normally just get the programme, but I thought I might as well get the brochure because it's finishing. So there you go. That's Nick Massey, Simon Bailey as Tommy, Matt as Frankie Valli, and then the guy that plays Bob Gaudio. All very good. Let's have a look at some of the other pages here. Some more stuff going on here. One thing that I do find a little bit annoying, and that's just, who cares, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. Simon Bailey's height is not too different from any of the Frankie Vallis. Like, I saw Simon Bailey today with Matt, and Matt is only maybe a tiny bit shorter than Simon Bailey, so it doesn't make that huge of a deal, I guess, because obviously you know, normally you feel like Frankie Valli is so much shorter than the rest of the band, but I don't know, maybe because I'm just used to Frankie Valli normally being very much the shortest, and the previous Tommy DeVitos that I've seen have all been definitely taller than Simon Bailey is, but that's something that you get past. But sometimes they honestly heights. What can you do? Doesn't take away from their performance, really. There you go, some more pictures for a year, and you know, you get to form bonds, and it's your job, and you're suddenly not in that job. As you saw at the end, they did do a little speech where by the producer, and I think the co-producer was on stage as well, and it was as well, and he used to play the part of Nick, and to this day he's the best Nick I've seen. He was just so funny, and he had such a unique way of playing Nick that none of the other Nicks I've seen have been able to do it like him. He was amazing. So yeah, he was there as well. I want to give a shout out to Stephen Ashfield, who's actually currently on Broadway as far as I'm aware. He's currently in Book of Mormon on Broadway, and he's had an incredible career since Jersey Boys, but he was the original Bob Gaudio in the West End, and I got to see him again probably about 5 or 6 times. He's probably one of my most seen Bob Gaudios, and again, one that I have not seen anyone do it better than him. And I don't think he was watching tonight, because I'm pretty sure he's in New York doing Book of Mormon, but he might have been there, I don't know. Leave comments down below if you know. But anyway, I didn't see him. But he is amazing. He's phenomenal. I've seen him in so many shows since now. Like, I've seen him in Legally Blonde, I've seen him in Book of Mormon. He is a fantastic actor, and the fact that he's on Broadway now, like a British actor and on Broadway, it's amazing. So leave comments down below if you ever got to see Stephen Ashfield as Bob Gaudio, because he was phenomenal. And also I want to give a shout out to a couple of other people as well. John Lee from S Club 7, yes, he, believe it or not, used to be in Jersey Boys as the alternate Frankie Valli, and he's one of my favourite Frankie Vallis. I probably saw him about maybe 5 times, and I loved him. There was something again about his acting, I think especially his acting really got me. He was an amazing actor. Like, he really got the part of Frankie Valli, especially in the second act when tough things happened to him. He really acted those scenes very well, in my opinion, and his voice as well obviously was incredible. So yeah, I really enjoyed John Lee's performances. I remember actually the first time that I saw John Lee, I went to the theatre on my own, because I think it was back when I was at uni. I must have been like, I don't know, very young. This was probably like in early 2011, and one day I was just like quite bored, nothing to do in the evening, and I saw that he was on, because he was the alternate, and I was like, I'm gonna go and see a Jersey Boys on my own tonight, because I really want to see John Lee and I can't wait any longer. So I just went, and I loved him. And then one last shout out I want to give is to Scott Monello, who was also a Frankie Valli. He was the alternate Frankie Valli from the very beginning. I'm pretty sure he was in the original cast in the West End. So yeah, he's been in the show since 2008. Obviously he's not in it anymore, but he used to be in it from probably 2008 until around 2012, I want to say. Maybe 2011. Oh, I think John Lee actually replaced him, so yeah, he must have left in 2011 for John Lee to then replace the guy. But yeah, Scott Monello was my very first Frankie Valli, and still probably my favourite, because his voice was just something else. Like, I first saw Jersey Boys, as I mentioned earlier, with my dad, and we both fell in love with Scott Monello's voice, because his voice was almost like, it's hard to explain, it was so beautiful, and his portrayal of Frankie Valli was amazing as well. So yeah, again, I think because he was our first, it's very hard to kind of see anybody else in the future that kind of lives up to that person that you first saw. But anyway, shout out to Scott Monello as well. Shout out to all the cast members, all the actors, all the performers, all the backstage people, anyone who's ever worked on Jersey Boys in London. Like, thank you, I guess. It's been amazing. Again, it's not one of my absolute favourite shows, but I would probably say it's possibly my favourite jukebox musical, if you can call it a jukebox musical, because the story really gets me. Like, I think it's a really good story, but I don't even think you can really necessarily call this a jukebox musical, because it's a story of, it's the true story, I guess, of these 4 guys, and it's really uplifting and sad at the same time. It's very much like real life. My arm's getting tired, so I'm going to swap it. But yeah, it's very much like real life. Like, you kind of get to learn about how a band, a very successful band, got to go through the highs and lows of their career and what was happening in their personal lives. And I don't know, I find it very touching. There are times in it that you like, yeah, especially in Act 2, there are moments that just like breaks your heart and makes you realize how, you know, life is tough for everyone. You know, you might see like all these celebrities and loving life and being all famous and doing all these amazing things. You're like, oh my god, they must have the most amazing lives. But when you see a show like Jersey Boys, you realize that it's not just about the money and the fans and all the things you get to do. You know, there's so much that goes on like behind the scenes and things that you don't think about, but that everybody experiences it. Like, it's like a unique, universal is what I want to say. It's a universal thing that we all as people like experience, like love, death, happiness, family problems, friendship. Like, these are things that are very universal, and Jersey Boys kind of touches on them, and it's really, really cool. Anyway, Jersey Boys is a good show. Go and watch it if you can. Like, I'm not really quite sure what's happening with Jersey Boys. I think it might be going on tour in the UK. I might be wrong, I don't know. But if you ever get the opportunity to see it anywhere, go and see it. There's a film of Jersey Boys as well, actually, a movie of Jersey Boys that came out a few years ago. I'd also recommend that. It's not like, I'd say the musical is better, but the film is quite good as well, so if you want to see that, go and see it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was lovely to see so many people at the final performance of Jersey Boys. Like, I bumped into a couple of people that I knew, and just to see that theatre be so lively and everybody loving it was amazing. Also to be able to experience it with my dad as well, because I went to see the show with my dad for the first time. It was amazing to be there again for the last performance of Jersey Boys with him. We both enjoyed it. He loved it, and it's one of the very few musicals that he actually enjoys, because he's not really into musicals, but because he loves the music of Jersey Boys, the 4 seasons, he enjoys this one. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave comments down below if you've ever seen Jersey Boys, if you were at the final performance, if you wish you were there, if you have any other questions about Jersey Boys or any other musical. I'm always open to talk about musicals and theatre. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!